Hey. Hey, what's up? It's your man. Oh my God, it feels good to be here right now. This is George Red Speaks Podcast, episode uno, one, uno pizza, uno Juno. Anyway, man, today we got a real good show for you, man. I have a really good friend with me that's going to be part of this first podcast. His name's Jamie Gravy. He's a stand-up comedian. Say what's up, Jamie.
What's up, man? Thanks for having me.
Oh, man, it's freaking beautiful. I'm glad you made it, man.
Dude, yes, for all my gringo friends, uno means one. Just to make that clear.
Yeah. Hey, can we cuss on this thing? Okay, shit.
Shit
There we
fun,
go.
dude.
Yeah,
Hell
just get it out, dude. All right, for those that are listening, this is a new show. I want to let you know what kind of show this is. This show, I will be having people from the entertainment business and the industry interviewed here, talking shop, talking how does it work? You know, how do we get this thing going? If you have a dream, if you have a vision, if there's something that you want to do, what are the steps to take to do it? And you're gonna have first-hand experience. Interviews with these people, and like Jamie Gravy, we're gonna get into it, and it's gonna be something you can take to the bank.
Hell yeah, dude.
Right?
We're entertainers. Dude.
We're
This is
entertainers.
awesome.
Yeah. All right, so
We're gonna teach them, bro. We're gonna teach them what's up. This is conductive. That's what I like about this.
Yeah.
This is conductive to people achieving their dreams.
Definitely,
you know,
bro.
It's positive.
It's positive.
This is a positive reinforcement show.
Definitely. I like that. See, I like how you brought that out, man, because we're still trying to define exactly what this is. But me and Jamie were talking a little bit earlier, and it just feels like, we're recognizing the parallels of people that are successful, not only in entertainment, but just in general, and the same attributes and the same characteristics it takes to get out there and make something happen. It's just not having the dream. It's just not having the vision, but being able to be a person of action,
Exactly.
And taking a chance on yourself, right, Jamie?
Yeah, absolutely. You got to be proactive.
Proactive.
You know what I mean?
Like the soap wash, the face wash, proactive.
Exactly, proactive. Yeah, it goes. See, that's the thing. It goes after the dirt in your face. It doesn't just wait for the dirt to come to it. You see what I mean? It's the same. It's the same with success.
Yeah. All right, so Jamie, tell me a little bit about yourself, man. Tell us, how you got into comedy, man. I'm just from the very beginning. I mean,
sure. Well, obviously, straight from the hood. Day one.
Well,
why is that funny?
You were a Crip, right?
No, I'm just kidding. I grew up middle class. I can't even lie.
Yeah.
But no. Yeah, man. I was this hyperactive kid.
Yeah.
Believe it or not. A lot of people find this a little odd because they're like, Jamie, you're a pretty chill guy.
Yeah.
Which I am. But I was very hyper as a kid. Always rambunctious. Like they try to put me on Ritalin and Adderall and all that kind of stuff. Always in the principal's office. Always a class clown.
Yeah.
And then got into drugs in high school.
Oh wait, no, that's not nice. Don't do drugs.
Yeah,
kids.
don't do drugs, kids.
Until you're an
adult.
adult.
Sure, there was fun nights, obviously. But it calmed me the way the hell down. So that's why I'm not as hyper anymore. But and then got into comedy right after high school. I did it twice, like 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
And then I didn't do it again for like 7 years. It was
Really?
weird. Yeah. I just went through most of my 20s and then started getting after it around like 27.
Because I remember you said something like that when we first met, that it was it's just like you got going on it and then you just went on like this hiatus or something like that.
Yeah.
So what was it in the beginning? Was you were kind of experimenting and then life happened?
Yeah, that could be definitely what it was. I think looking back, I'm grateful it did happen that way because at that time, when I was like 18, I was still kind of being a dickhead just in life. You know what I mean? Like fucking around too much. And didn't really know who I was either, So, and I did it those 2 weeks as it interested me. And I did well. I remember my first two mics actually went pretty well.
Yeah.
And a couple of the comics, had said good things. And but yeah, just didn't do it again after that for a long time. And I'm kind of grateful because I'm like, man, looking back, like, what if I had continued down that path at that age and that immaturity and burned a bridge?
Yeah.
Instead of coming back years later, kind of know who I am a little bit more.
Yeah.
You know, not burning bridges, because you know that's when it comes to business, man. You know, you don't burn a bridge.
Yeah,
you do
at all.
as best you can. You know.
And you know, you saying that it brings something to mind, right? Because a lot of people get discouraged when they want to do something and it just didn't work out the first time, you know. And sometimes we get sidetracked, like life happens or whatever. You're not mature at the moment. It doesn't mean you're a failure. It doesn't mean that it ain't gonna come to pass. It just means that you ain't got there yet, mentally, spiritually, whatever it takes. You know, you didn't have the drive yet. But if you can still keep the vision, you know, somewhere in there still bubbling in the back of your head, you know, in your subconscious, you know, you're able to bring that forth, you know, when you're ready, you know. So just because it don't work out the first time doesn't mean you have to just throw it all away.
Yeah, completely.
Because, I mean, you came back with a vengeance, right?
Sure, yeah, I
You
suppose
know?
so. But I see, I don't even think I was like ready at that time to really. It's almost like something in me was like, it's not yet. Not yet, you know,
Yeah.
or something. Like, I still had a lot of life to learn.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I went through a hell of a lot of life from my late teens to my late 20s. You know, that is a long gap of just time and learning and life experiences. You know, first place you live in, hell, you know, I got engaged, married, and divorced. You know what I mean? So it's like going through all that kind of stuff. And then I was like, I had to, you know, build up some material for comedy. That's the way I look at it. You know what I mean? I didn't really, I didn't have enough material to go off yet.
Yeah,
You know, so.
you needed some fucked up shit to happen.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. I really put myself through the trenches just for the sake of comedy.
Just
You know
for the
what I
sake
mean?
of
Yeah,
comedy.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. So what was it like when you got back? Like, what was your first steps? Like, what made you?
Well, I kind of approached it like I'd never done it, even though I had all those years ago. I was like, well, all right. So now, you know, at this point, what do I want to do? So my first goal was just to make people laugh.
Nice.
And I remember, and this was weird about bombing. Ooh, let's talk about bombing for a second, because you were just talking about failure, right?
Well, yeah.
You know, like as far
Failure's a big part
or
of
peop-
stand-up.
yeah, and things not happening the way you want them to happen.
Exactly.
Right, that's comedy 101. You're just it never works out the first time. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So, and they said, you know, I always watch these guys like, you know, the Seinfelds, the Chappelles. They would say, well, get ready, everybody bombs.
Yeah,
is what they'd
yeah.
always say. Everybody bombs. But what they never said was how often everybody bombs.
Yeah.
I just thought it was like this one thing, this one time that happens in your life. I was like, there's just gonna be one day where I just bomb. No, it's like almost every day at first. You know what I mean? It sucks so bad.
Let's explain to people out there that don't know what the lingo is. What is bombing in stand-up comedy?
Bombing on stand-up comedy is when you're on stage and nobody's laughing. It feels. Penn and Teller had a great visual example of this. Bombing is the equivalent of getting a hot pot of coffee splashed in your face. That's how it feels to bomb on stage.
Yeah, man. Like, I remember the first time I bombed. All right, so check this out. I actually got a show here in Arlington. I don't want to say any names because I don't want y'all looking, you know, into my past. And so I do good with every race. It just so happened this was a very progressive group of people, right? And I had some material that just was kind of on the line, and I was still working it out, and it was a competition, right? And the thing is when you're in comedy, you have to do your time. They give you 7 minutes, you have to do the whole 7 minutes.
Yeah.
Right? So if it ain't working, you know, I mean, you could get off stage, but then you're kind of like a pussy, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
You got to finish your time.
I think it's better to go over than go under. You know, even though you shouldn't do both, kids.
Yeah.
Don't do either one. But if you're going to pick one.
7 minutes of silence, bro. You know what I'm saying? You could hear the mothball, the moths in the back, the wings flapping in the kitchen. You know what I'm saying? It was so quiet. Horrible.
And the
bro.
mothballs.
And the mothballs. Freaking crazy, man.
Yeah, it's a horrible feeling, man, because you're just eating it the whole time.
Yeah.
And time slows down, man, doesn't it? Like you just.
Yeah. Have you ever read Judd Apatow's book, Sick in the Head?
I have not, but I'm a huge Apatow fan.
Yeah. So Apatow has this book, and it has all his interviews he's ever had with other comedians, right? And he has this one with I'm not even saying the right name because I'm thinking his the guy from the Daily Show. I don't even know why it slipped. The one that started it.
Oh, the one that started it.
Because I'm about to say his name that when he's in Big Daddy.
Why am I? No, it's Is it John
Stewart.
John Stewart. Yeah.
Golly, dude, put a bullet
but-
in my head. How do you not know his name?
Right.
So John Stewart says something
We're
about
kick
bombing.
ass. It's celebrities.
Yeah. So they're having an interview, and John Stewart says, he goes, "How good is bombing?" And Judd was just like, "What the hell what are you talking about? It's horrible." He was just like, "No, you get so much more information on bombing than you do when you have a good show.
Yeah.
Because you don't learn anything when you have a good show. You're just like, all right, this was great.
Mhm.
But when you bomb, there's so much information coming at you, right? And you're having to figure out where you went wrong." And then Jerry Seinfeld, I don't even know where I got this, but I remember him saying that pain was, and this wasn't even in the book. It was an interview I saw. And he goes, "You know what pain is?" He says, "Pain is a lot of information hitting you at once."
Yeah.
You know? And it's the same
A
thing.
lot of information. What just happened? What the fuck?
At one time.
A glass just broke in the back for some reason. You know what I mean? Why is it always that? Like when you're like you're doing shitty and you hear like a glass break and you're like, fuck, dude, no one's even paying attention now. You know, everybody's like, what? Because when a glass breaks, everybody turns around.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's like, what the fuck was that? Now suddenly you're like on stage, everybody's looking away from you.
Yeah.
Because you got upstaged by a glass.
When would you say you started to find your voice, or you find your groove, you know, and you're just like, okay, I'm onto something now?
I would say about a year in, I started feeling at least like I could put together some sort of like set that was fluid, you know, at least just for a short time, like a fluid set that people could at least ride and understand and follow. I wouldn't necessarily say it was like my voice necessarily, because my voice has changed a lot. I feel like over the years. I mean, I've only been doing this for a little, about 4.5.
Yeah.
So I've tried so many different styles of comedy just to kind of see what my voice is. But I feel like just in the past like 6 months to a year, I felt like more in tune with it or something. Like I feel like I'm finding a little bit more magic lately.
Yeah.
So it's been kind of interesting. But, this could also be followed by 2 years of complete despair and trying to wonder who I am again, going through another identity crisis, which, hey, peaks and valleys. All right. Thanks for having me.
Man, recently me and Jamie we had a show at Hyenas.
Yes.
And that show was amazing, bro. And, since we got back in town, or since I got back in town, I had been to some open mics with you. We're just practicing. And then I was seeing the material, right? But it's never like you never really hear it the way you hear it when you're at a real comedy show.
Oh yeah, not open mics especially.
Exactly.
Especially like at a bar open mic or something. Yeah, it's tough.
So when you went up at Hyenas this time, I wasn't really busy, and usually I'm running around at a show like our first show at Hat Tricks, right? I didn't really catch anything because I was running around and stuff. And I got to enjoy it, man. And I was just like, wow, man, the whole astronaut bit was insane.
Oh, thanks, man. Thanks, yeah. I would definitely take the Friday show over the Saturday show because the Saturday show, they were a little tougher, man, at first, weren't they?
They were hard to break.
They
were there. They were laughing.
Yeah.
But it seemed like the laughs weren't, they weren't, I don't know. It's just.
They weren't giving them away, that's for sure.
They weren't giving them away.
They were just a little tight.
It was a little tight.
A little tight in the pocket. You know what I mean? But they came around. Yeah. They definitely came around.
What do you think about, because as a comic, right, when I first started, I used to always blame the audience, right? But you can't blame them. You can only blame yourself, right? Mm-hmm. To try to correct where you're not finding your groove. And if you're not getting a role, if you want to learn, you take full responsibility. But at the same time, like Friday and Saturday, you can still see that one audience can be very receptive to the same material and the other audience isn't. What is that? What do you think? I mean,
I could have swore I thought I heard someone snoring for a second. I was like looking around, like, what the fuck is that noise? Did anyone hear that? I was like tripping. Oh, my bad. I don't know what it is, man. Like, it's a part of me thinks like, well, like I would love to blame the audience. Obviously, because then it means it wasn't my fault, But all I've been thinking about since Saturday was, fuck, what did I do wrong in those first, 10 minutes? Because it was like tough. Those first 10 minutes were tough. I would say after that, like they were finally like listening and they were engaging. They were laughing. So by the end of it, I was satisfied. But man, the first 10 were tough to get them going. When the night before, it was like they were good from the get go. So it definitely, yeah, tripped me out a little bit. But hey, I don't know. I think it's it's easy for me to say, oh well, if it was the audience's fault, then I don't have to work or something, you know.
Yeah.
But you still have to, so it's like whatever, until we're like just touring to where it's like our name. Because think about this: when you're touring as like a national headliner, everyone that buys a ticket is already a fan of yours.
Yeah, they're already into you. They know who you are.
Instead of we're the level that I'm at. People are just coming to a show, and I happen to be on the bill.
Yeah.
I might have a few people I know in the audience, but for the most part, I'm a stranger to everybody in the audience.
So you got to win them over.
Got to win them over. I got to make fans right now.
Yeah.
My fans aren't there to watch me.
Yeah.
So it's like it can be tough. It's interesting. The funniest thing I saw one time, because like sometimes I'll have like a dry sense of humor. And one time this lady in New York, she comes up to me and she's like, I wasn't sure at first, but I end up liking you. She goes, I end up liking you. She's like, you come in. She's like, you're like a stealth bomber. She goes, you come in real sneaky. And I was like, I mean, she didn't get me for like the first half of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She was just like, what the fuck's this guy talking about?
Yeah. So like now recently, what was it? All right, because you're a Texas comic. This is where you started.
Yes.
And then as you grew, all right, tell me if I'm wrong. I don't know if I'm wrong, but from my observation of seeing you work, it was just like once you had your 45 and you felt it was good, I saw you do a show at the Improv, and you headlined it. It was a great lineup, and it was just like right after that, we had to sit down, and you were just like, I'm going to New York. And I was just like, hell yeah, bro. That's awesome. But I kind of felt what I took away from it is that you had like these personal short wins, these little goals that you needed to hit before you were going to move too fast. You think that's something that's instinctively that you just do, or is it something that you prepared in your mind? Did you have a strategy?
I think the answer is both.
Okay.
I think it wasn't really an or. I think I trust my own personal goals, and I did plan it. And for me, that was my plan and instinct was to, because in my mind, I remember thinking when I first got started doing comedy, like, me and my dad would have these talks. He'd be like, "Well, when do you think people usually would move to one of the coasts?" Dude, I did the same shit a second ago.
Sorry, bro.
That's what that sucks about doing stories. Sometimes you'll be recording something, the music will start going, and you're like, and everybody can hear it. You're like, "I'm sorry, I feel like an asshole." Anyway. I'm having a good day, by the way, dude. We're in the freaking, Globe Life.
Yeah, let's
Rangers
let everyone
Park,
know where we're at.
I mean, this is like so insane.
We're at the old Texas Rangers ballpark, and behind, you can't see it because of where you're at right now, but behind us, this is where the Rangers used to play. This is a very amazing setup, man.
Yeah, beautiful field. I mean, yeah, it's a lot of memories too growing up here. This is awesome. But anyway, my bad, dude. Get off track here, but
so we're talking about
my goals, before moving. Me and my dad would talk about this, and he'd be like, "When do you think it's time to move?" Because I just started, so I was like not even thinking about moving yet.
Yeah.
And I go, I think you move when I guess you either are asked to move, you sign a deal, or if you're going to take a chance. I think you could take a chance at any moment, but for me, my reasoning was I think you try to max out where you're at first.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean? So I was like, all right, so hopefully I'll try to max out DFW, whatever that means, whatever that looks like. I didn't know anything.
You just had to feel it.
Just had to feel.
You knew that there was something. There was a marker that you had to hit.
Yeah.
You weren't quite sure.
Wasn't sure.
But you knew it was there.
Exactly. And then I would say, about 2.5 years after that is when I feel like I kind of found it. Was when I was working at all the clubs. I'd gotten to the feature position at the clubs, and then they let me headline my own night. Thinking, you got 45 minutes in 2 years, I think is a little bit of a stretch because in all actuality, I probably had more like 25, to be quite honest. But it was a good learning experience because it did lead me to moving to New York, into which when I was there, I did find out that a lot of those minutes didn't work like I thought they did.
Okay.
all over the place. They worked in Dallas, you
Yeah.
know. So I think that's probably the most I've taken away from living in New York currently is just this learning curve I'm kind of going through, which has been cool.
So, so just because I mean, so sometimes just being in a different city, a different feel, sometimes just jokes just don't work everywhere.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, because you think about like culturally,
Yeah.
you know. I mean, think about like the amount of. I mean, you know, I'm not a political guy. I don't like talking about politics, but just think about the sheer number of conservatives versus liberals in both states.
Yeah.
Dallas, Texas versus New York, New York. You know, they're vastly different.
Yeah.
And so because of that, it creates different cultures, I'd say, and through culture comes art, and those are interpretations of art.
Would you say that race jokes here work in Texas and they probably don't work in New York?
I'd say they do and they don't. It's
Yeah.
interesting, but they work everywhere.
Yeah.
I think they do. It's just, but the ways they work are different.
Yeah.
I don't know. I find a lot more unified shows
Yeah.
here personally,
Okay.
which I find strange. Not to say that there aren't up there, but just like I said, it's just different.
Yeah. So, what was your experience like first getting to New York and the excitement?
Man, it was stressful, man. Like first getting there, it was stressful because I had to find a job. I had a place up there. My roommate and comedian Stacy, he was already kind of up there and already had the place under wraps. So I came, moved in, and my brother helped me move. And yeah, the first week I was just trying to find a job. Did a couple open mics, trying to figure out the subway system, and then a lot of working, just trying to make sure I could sustain living there.
Yeah. So you and Stacy used to have this thing I used to do together. The videos. It was called
Chalknilla.
Chalknilla.
Yeah, so me and Stacey Cordell.
Yeah.
Look them up on IG.
Y'all have
Facebook.
a whole bunch of different clips, a whole bunch of different skits that y'all used to do. Very funny. Got a lot of traction while you were out here.
Yes.
I remember.
Helped out a lot
Yeah.
for sure. And it was great. I mean, that was awesome. Those were some great times. And me and him moved out to New York
Yeah.
because we talked about it, and it was kind of like, man, we should try this sometime, maybe. And he kind of had that mindset of maybe thinking about forward thinking, and so I think that's why we probably get along pretty well.
How hard would you say it would have been if you would have went out there by yourself?
Man, it'd been
Not
so
having
much
no
harder,
support.
bro. It was
Yeah.
so nice, like, bro, having a friend to go out there with, especially a comic.
Yeah.
That was awesome. Because there was many nights we would come home learning this. Stacey's from Texas too.
Yeah.
We both come home after a day of out in New York trying to live there. New York's fun to visit, but it's fucking tough living there. And we both get home and we would just be like bitching to each other about our day. Just like, dude, this fucking bullshit. He's like, God, this train. He's like, I went to the wrong stop. And I was like, yeah, I feel you. You can't, the day cost me $50. It's just constant, shit like that. So, I had to move out there alone and had to like roommate with strangers. That would have sucked. That would have sucked so bad.
Yeah, man. To really have, and it's your comedy buddies. So
Yeah.
I mean, y'all you get to bounce ideas off each other and hit the mics together.
Yeah, exactly. We were hitting all these mics together for the first time, both of us, just checking out the area, checking out the scene. It was nice.
Those are memories. Those are going to be irreplaceable. Something like that, especially in the beginning of your career.
Well, the first show I produced in New York, of course, I had Stacy on.
Nice.
Which was cool, and that was about, I think that show was in October, so it was about 2 months into me moving to New York. I threw my first show.
Are y'all still working together?
Yeah, I mean, before this whole coronavirus happened,
Yeah.
back in, I guess things kind of shut down around March. He had thrown a show in Brooklyn
Nice.
in February. It was a Black History Month show, and I got to do that. Which was huge success. I mean, he damn near. I think he sold out the place, honestly, because there was no seats. So,
being in New York and being at the different clubs out there, I mean, what kind of comment, like anyone that stands out that you've seen, idols or anything, people that you follow that you've been able to probably be on the same stage or?
Yeah, a lot of cool people. I mean, so ones that come to mind, Martin Norman, I see him like at a lot of shows just out and about. I've got to be on a couple shows with him.
Nice.
got to be on shows with Matthew Broussard. You see David Tell out there quite a bit.
Yeah.
Which has been really cool. I've gotten the pleasure to work with Mia Jackson, who's awesome. Usama, who's actually a Dallas boy.
Okay. And before you went out there, I remember, when we met, I was producing a show at House of Blues.
That's right. That was 2017, I think.
Yeah. And then you were on the bill, and that's how we met. And then when I guess you had left out of town to go work, and you come back, and then you say, "Hey man, that show really helped me because I had this big show coming up," which happened to be you were opening for Eddie Griffin.
Yes.
Yeah, his HBO special.
Yeah, Showtime.
Showtime. Yeah,
that's right. That was crazy because
Yeah.
I never performed any sort of like theater aspect with like a second balcony.
Yeah.
And had we not done that House of Blues show,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have had that first experience until Eddie Griffin. But that gave me a nice little warm up, you know, beforehand dealing with that.
What kind of experience was that, man?
That was insane.
How did that all come together?
So I was opening for him as an MC at Arlington Improv.
Yeah.
Because I just got passed there, I think, that month as one of the local opening MCs, right? My first weekend was with Donnell Rawlings in Arlington, which was really cool. You know, he had a little barbecue and stuff we went to as well, like at his hotel, and that was the end of it. And then they hired me again for Eddie Griffin coming through. It's a two-man show, just me and him. And then it was after that he liked me, and he brought me to Boston to open up for his Showtime special.
Nice.
I didn't get any FaceTime, obviously, but he gave me a nice credit at the end.
You still had the credit.
Yeah, I got the title card on there, which was neat, and obviously, you know, just the experience, the connections. It was an incredible ordeal, and the way it happened was nuts, man. I mean, after that last show in Arlington, second show Saturday night, we're in the back taking pictures like you do after a weekend, and he just compliments my fucking act.
Yeah.
My measly 10-minute set. He just starts complimenting and said, "Man, you did a lot of shit, you know, people like you can't do." You know, meaning you're just a white guy because there was, you know, Arlington's predominantly black audience, and he was just like, "I've seen a lot of people try to do it and not, you know, they weren't able to." He's like, "I got nothing but respect for you."
Nice.
And I was like, "Man, that's crazy." And then he goes into this whole story about how he kind of got started and how he met Andrew Dice Clay and all this amazing thing about how he did all these jokes around these mobsters that was kind of mobsters that were taboo, and but they went over so well that Dice Clay asked him back. And,
Nice.
And I was like, why is he telling me this? And so 5 days later go by, and I'm fucking working. You know, I'm at work. It's a Thursday, and I get a call from like his his management, just saying, hey, he wants you to come and go to Boston to open up for the Showtime special. And I was like, I couldn't believe it. I'm just like, I got tables wanting a nice tea. I'm just like, bitch, you're gonna have to wait. You know what I mean? I'll tell you. So it was amazing.
Man, that's a good story.
Yeah, so shout out to Eddie Griffin, man. I'll always have that. I mean, I'll never forget it.
Yeah. Hey, all right, check it out. We're going to take a 5-minute break. We're going to play some music for you, and we'll be back.
Nice.
All my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle, pay the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice. That's why all my life I've been grinding all my life. Look, all my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle, pay the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice. That's why all my life I've been grinding all my life. Look, I'm married to this game. That's who I made my wife. Said I die alone. I told that she probably right. One thing that's for sure, not a stranger to this life. Got a safe that's full of Franklins and a shoulder full of stripes. I don't know it like myself. I say self-made, meaning I design myself. County jail fade, you can pull my foul yourself. Spot raid, swallow rocks, I'm getting high myself. Nah, damn right, I like the life I built. I'm from West Side 60, I might got killed. Standing so tall, they think I might got stills. Legendary baller like Mike, like Wilt. 96 Impala, thug life on wheels. Up against the wall, squabble at Fox Hills. Like a boss, ask me how I feel. Successful street, touching them first meals. Whoa, all my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle, pay the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice. That's why all my life, I've been grinding all my life. Look, all my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle, pay the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice. That's why all my life I've been grinding all my life. Look, I got everything I said I was gonna get on my kid. In addition to that fact, I went legit. I'm the now according to the way that I'm positioned in this biz. It look like I'm just gonna keep on getting rich. Know them West Side RSCs is us. LAPD on I'ma squeeze and bust. If a rap diss, switch cheese and bust. All this rap money, look, I need too much. Money, loyalty, and love in the dream we trust. You'll be switching up the players on your team too much. Tiny copy, that's my low, Young Supreme, what's up? And we travel around the world getting cream or what? Ain't you get off on whoever hustle seem to brush? Las Vegas strip pop, yeah, you creamed them punks. After all that looking tough, all he seen was stunts. 50 Cent and Mayweather flee the scene with us. True story. All my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle, pay the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice. That's why all my life I've been grinding all my life. Look, all my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle, pay the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice. That's why all my life I've been grinding all my life. Look.
I sit alone in my four-cornered room staring at candles.
Who got man?
We on the radio, dude? Yeah. Oh, all right. Well, peep this here. At night I can't sleep, I toss and turn. Candlesticks in the dark, visions of bodies being burned. Four walls closing in, getting bigger. I'm paranoid, sleeping with my finger on the trigger. My mother's always stressing I ain't living right, but I ain't going out without a fight. See, every time my eyes close, I start sweating and blood starts coming out my nose. It's somebody watching the act, but I don't know who it is, so I'm watching my back. I can see them when I'm deep in the covers. When I awake, I hear a car burning rubber. He owns a black hat like I own, a black suit and a cane like my own. Some might say take a chill beat, but I can't, G, cause there's somebody trying to kill me. I'm popping in the grip when the wind blows. Every 20 seconds got me peeping out my window. Investigating the joint for traps. Checking my telephone for taps. I'm staring at the woman on the corner. It's messed up when your mind is playing tricks on you.
Yeah. And we're back. We're back, baby, with Jamie Gravy, the Gravy Train. The man of the hour, the man of the day, you know.
Hey, man, I appreciate you having me, bro. This is fucking awesome for your first one, especially too. Let me tell you, dude. Felicidades, amigo. Okay? Let me tell you something. Seriously, congrats.
Oh man,
this
you're so
awesome.
fluent.
Yeah, thank you. Hey, I know a couple exclaims.
Oh
know?
yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Okay.
No,
What's the other one? What's the other one?
I mean, I can say a bunch of shit. You know what I mean? Like, what do you want to talk about? Feliz cumpleaños. I could do something like that.
That's funny.
Dame the margaritas. That's what I gotta say.
Yeah.
It's always party time.
Always party time. We were just talking about, you with Eddie Griffin and how that all came to be. And what I'm getting out of our whole conversation is, I think if you just put yourself in the way of opportunity, that way she can see you.
Yep.
Things come to fruition.
Yeah, man.
You just gotta. it's kind of like
lady opportunity, bro. She wants to be courted. You got to go take her out. You know,
That's
I mean,
right.
I mean, think about. I mean, look at your story. You've been in this industry longer than I have. You've met my friends. I bring my friends to your show. You know the guys 'cause you've been working with them. You've been in countless things.
Yeah.
And even after you've gotten out, you know, like,
Yeah.
I mean, you hit the ground running. You know, what I mean,
Yeah.
when did you decide you wanted to start doing comedy finally?
Well, I got into entertainment very young. I was around 17. I was 17 years old when I did my first club promotion, bro, at a hood bar. You know, I'm not even 18.
Yeah.
You know, this little place called Black Cats in Fort Worth, Texas, man. It was one of the most gangster places you could go. But then I was able to work my way into downtown, and then radio and television and some acting and some movies and stuff. And I always loved the business of celebration. You know what I'm saying? I like to put things together that give people that little escape for the night, you know? And then I had this TV show called Infamous Rhythm TV on Mundo Fox, right? And I was invited to a comedy show. No one shows up to this comedy show, and they have like 500 seats. Like, this is a big production, right? But they didn't, I guess, the guy that was producing it didn't invest on the promotional side. Great lineup. You know, they had Midnight. They had Adrian Lara. And the headliner that night was Flo Hernandez. And Flo Hernandez goes up there. There's 4 people. There's 4 people seated, dude. And I'm just like, this is a disaster. I got to see what's going to happen, you know?
That's a fucking open mic, dude.
Yeah. And, but I'm telling you, they got like 500 seats laid out. You know, they got these girls in this like lingerie, the Christmas lingerie. And, well, Flo Hernandez gets up there and just murders. He performs like it was, you know, he's at a stadium. And I was clutching my stomach, dude. I was laughing so hard. I was like, I got to meet this guy because I've always loved comedy.
Yeah.
I used to sneak out when I used to work at the bars in downtown Fort Worth to Hyenas when they were off of 5th in Houston, right? To go catch a show real quick and then come back and hopefully no one would know I was gone. You know, like I wouldn't go the whole show. I'd just catch a couple of sets.
Yeah.
You know,
make sure everything's going well.
Yeah. And then run back to the club, right?
Oh, man.
So I've always loved comedy, but I never thought I could ever do it. Like in my head, I was like, man, that's for the gods. You know what I'm saying? And then one day I wrote for a comic that wanted to be a comic, and he went up and he did his set, and he killed with the material I wrote. And I never wrote material before. Automatically, I thought, I was like, okay, I think I might have something if I could grow the balls to get on stage and actually do it.
How many jokes did you write for this guy?
It's 5 minutes.
You wrote a 5-minute set for someone else, and it did well for him.
It did amazingly well because then he got booked like 4 times, but then he chose because, well, I can say it because we've talked about it on air before. G Spook from K104, you know, and he gives me credit for it, so I can talk about that. So he's a brother of mine, like we're really tight, and he wanted to do comedy, and I guess he was having a hard time writing, but he has a lot of good ideas. But
shit, probably just a busy dude.
He's very busy. He's always on the radio. He was always on the radio and stuff. So it was hard for him to kind of get away to actually do it. So one day he gives me a call. He's like, "Yo, Street," that's what he used to call me. He's like, "Street, man, I don't know, man. I'm gonna need some help on this thing, right?" So then I'm like, "Where you at?" He's like, "I'm at the radio station." So I go to the radio station, and I was there for like 4 or 5 hours and just writing. And he took the whole 5-minute set, memorized it within like 3 days.
Wow.
And went up. I guess the first one was at Patio. He corrected me last week. It was at Patio Grill in Oak Cliff. The second one was at Hyenas Mockingbird Station that we were doing for Infamous Rhythm promotion with Flo Hernandez. And the third one was at the Addison Improv, right? And I had started booking him. And then one day he told me, he was just like, man, he goes, I like it. He goes, but, you know, radio is my passion. That's what I do. And I had to respect it. But then I have this material, and I started thinking, when can I make this thing happen, you know? And then I found out I was going to prison, and then I was like, I have nothing else to lose, bro, you know? And that's when I produced the House of Blue show. The first one with you, Flo, and a couple other guys. And the second one, probably like a month later, I did it with the Ruby Review girls. It was Joel Reynolds, Miss Personality, and Luis Juarez.
Nice.
And it was a pretty nice lineup. And I got last.
Well, I think I did it with the Ruby Review
You did
as well.
You did the main room with them, and then a month later, we did the Ruby Review, and then they wanted to do a second show.
Gotcha.
And that's when I did my comedy debut, and then
Nice.
I got bit in the neck, bro.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I've been addicted.
But since you got out, you have hit the ground. You've made everyone look weak.
Nah.
The way they grind. I'm telling you, dude.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, the way it makes everyone else look like you're like destroying them. Just the way you're just hitting things and working hard and thinking outside the box. More importantly, because I think that's a lot of I find that people starting out in comedy, or the ones that get somewhere but then don't for a while. It's like I think people get kind of stuck in this rut of doing things they think they should be because people tell you should be.
Yeah.
It's almost similar to like if you grew up in church saying, well, have you been praying? You feel bad. Like, I haven't been praying as much. That's probably why things are going bad. You know what I mean? Or something weird like that. That's how some people make you feel about like writing or hitting stages. Especially in this time. But you've been doing a lot of writing. You can't hit a lot of stages right now, but you've been doing more stages than most people who've been out for 2 years.
Yeah.
Who've been free for 2 years.
I actually think that's me going away was a blessing for me. I mean, it sucks, you know what I'm saying? But to be away from your dream and your passion was the hardest thing. Being away from friends and family, that's hard. Not being at home, being in an ugly place like that, But being away from when you finally find something, and most people don't ever know who they are. When you ask somebody, what do you want out of life? They all say the same thing. I want to get married. I want to have a family. I want a nice house, a good paying job. I want to live a comfortable life. That's not specific. Who are you? What do you want? You know what I'm saying? And the people that choose the specifics, the attention to detail, those are the things that manifest, right? So like when I found out that I'm a comedian, I'm a writer, producer, that's instinctively my instincts. I have to talk, I have to communicate, I have to network, I have to create, and I have to bring people together. Because when I went to prison, I was doing it in prison. Mm-hmm. I got with the warden. I was just like, look, man, we got to do a comedy show. He's like, what? We don't do that shit here.
It didn't matter where you were. It didn't stop you.
Yeah. I was doing it in my cell, bro. I charge them a soup a piece. Y'all want to come hear some jokes? It'll cost you a soup.
Get you some.
Get me a soup,
man. Get you some, dude.
But it's something that's just natural though. But I think what it is, being away and then coming out, that's the reason why I hit hard, because I was taken away from something. So when I came out. I also had 2 years to plan. You know what I'm saying? I had 2 years to strategize. So coming out, it wasn't just like I'm coming out just grinding. I've been planning for 2 years.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you took advantage of your time.
Yeah,
which is smart.
Yeah, appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man, it's been awesome, man. Like I said, we were talking about it before the show. We haven't done a bad show together.
We've never done a bad show.
And I have a lot of. There's nothing bad saying I've done a bad show with a friend before. It just happens.
Yeah.
But we're just on this streak.
Yeah.
We're on a streak.
Yeah, it's and you got to ride the wave, man. You have to ride the wave. Life only gives you so many opportunities, right? And you gotta. It's kind of like you have to have your ear, to the ground, and you got to hear that rumbling, and you're like, okay, here it comes. Okay, I got to jump on it now. I got to make a move now, because a lot of people, opportunities present them. A lot of times there's opportunities all around us, and most people don't see it because they're not focused on it. They're focused on their own ego or their own problems.
Oh, man.
I know it. When blessings start happening, man, when things start moving, is when you take the attention off yourself and you start looking into others.
Yep.
Like, for instance, the reason why I'm moving, it isn't because I'm moving alone. It's because I'm reaching out to people that I feel that I'm a fan of. Like, I'm a fan of you, dude. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, I got to work with Jamie. I got to make him look good. I want to make Flo look good. I want to make, Gretchen's coming on the show on the 26th. I was like, I got to work with her.
Some girl.
And so it's when you take the attention off yourself and you put it on to other people, right? That's when great things start happening, because now you're bouncing ideas and now things are moving and now there's a flow and there's a dynamic that's happening that wouldn't have happened if you're just worried about, you know, why you're fat or something.
About number one, you know, and that's, you're right, man. You know, it's like that's what happens with some people too. Whenever they burn bridges quick with venues, they're trying to start their own show.
Yeah,
that's the first thing, you know, tell people when they're like, as soon as like, I've been trying to, what do you think, man? I want your advice, because you know, I know you ran a mic for a while, and what should I do? This venue I have. Well, you should make them happy first.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of these guys, they burn bridges with these venues because, well, me and the owner, we got into it because da-da-da. And it's just like, they want to make $1 million on one show.
Yeah.
They think they're going to retire after one show they throw at a fucking bar, rather than realizing if I make the venue happy, I can have 1,000 shows.
Yeah.
And I can make a lot of money on 1,000 shows.
That's true.
And seeing long term, you know. And then there's an African proverb, man, that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with others. You know. And it's like, bro, that's the truest shit.
Yeah.
Go with others, man, because it's like you make other people happy. You create bonds. You create friendship. You create trust. Sky's the limit.
It's all about relationships.
Totally.
You know, and people do business with people they like, period. You know, you can't go in there and start shaking and starting all the drama and think something good's going to happen from it, you know? There's another saying, it was just like, yo, if you want honey, don't kick over the beehive, you know?
Yeah.
You know? Or it's just...
Wait for it. You got to wait for it.
You got to wait for it.
Maybe be patient. Go after it, but you know what I mean? Like, you can't, some people just try to force stuff, and like you said, they're
short-sighted.
Getting in the way, you know? They're short-sighted for sure.
And it's all about the venue. So because they're the customer.
Exactly.
You know, oh man,
they just bought from you.
Yeah, I was on Facebook, right? And I saw, you know, Vatos Chisosos.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I saw a comment that one of them had made, and it said, I got the best road advice, right? And it was Derek Jack that told him. Derek Jack said, it's not about getting booked. It's about getting rebooked.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? Because if you mess it up now, it's not about, all right, you made it to this one, but when can we have the next show together?
Right.
You know?
They're going to have you back?
Yeah.
If not, then you might as well just cross that off.
You could be one of the funniest motherfuckers on the planet. But if no one likes working with you, ain't no one going to hear you because there's no platform.
Cool, buddy.
You know?
Because that's the thing about talent. There's a lot of talented people on this planet. So why would they work with you when you're a dick and this guy's not?
Yeah.
Talent-wise, you're about the same. Why are they going to go with you? Especially if you're not tipping the wait staff well, or you're getting drunk, or you're fucking throwing up outside the club. You know, anything stupid.
Yeah.
Starting shit with somebody.
It's kind of like you know how they always say about basketball players in the hood. Like there's so many really good basketball players in the hood that never made it to the NBA. You know, but it's because they made their life choices of why they're stuck for whatever reason. It doesn't have to be like criminal or anything like that. Just for whatever reason, you know, they didn't go after it.
Just couldn't get to that next level, you know.
And there's people that go after it, and by all means necessary, you know, without stepping on toes. You know, like for instance, I've made a decision in my life that I am a stand-up comedian. Period. You know what I'm saying? That is it. If I never make it, you know, no. If I'm never successful on it, then I'm just gonna be a homeless stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
I mean that's
how I feel about it. Like I'm gonna do it for the rest of my life. Yeah. To what extent, we'll see.
I mean, you got to make the right choices as far as financial choices and stuff to stay afloat and to bring in money and stuff like that. But it's just it's like you find a direction and you just lean in that direction. And I'm like, whatever happens, this is where I'm leaning, however I fall. You know what I'm saying? Or whoever picks me up. You know, but I'm in this direction. I'm not going this way. I'm not going this way. I've made a decision. I know where my North Star is. Oh, dude, check this out. So I was reading this. I was reading a Russell Simmons book, right? Do You by Russell Simmons. And he said,
Russell, is that the workout guy?
No, that's Richard Simmons.
Oh, Richard Simmons. I was like, you're reading this book?
Russell Simmons is the creator, one of the creators of Def Jam.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
He's a hip hop industry mogul, dude. You know. So anyway, Richard Simmons has this book called Do You, and there's a chapter in there, and I forget which chapter it was, but he said that in a storm, a captain of a ship, sometimes they would get lost and they didn't know which way to go. But if they could see their North Star, they could always find their way home. Right? Your passion has to be the North Star. Right? Your passion, your dream. And I don't even like to call it a dream because, you know, people can dream all day long. But if you're not in action, you know, I mean, everyone, you probably have a different opinion. But the thing is.
Yeah, no, I agree with you because the dream is what you hope happens of it.
You know what I like to call it? Vision. I got vision. I got focus. I have a target.
That's better.
You know? So if you have your vision is my North Star. So no matter where I'm at, no matter how fucked up life gets, no matter how hard it gets and how confused and I'm in this storm, right? If I could just find my vision and say, okay, this is what I'm doing. All right, if I do this, does it bring me closer to my vision? No, it doesn't. Okay, I can't do that. If I do this, does it bring me closer? Oh, kind of, but not. But if I do this, does it bring me closer? This is one step closer. Now I'm going the right direction. It's my compass. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. You like I said, you know where your direction is at all times, no matter what else is going on. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's literally why I'm still here, and not in New York, because I can't do comedy there right now.
Yeah.
So until I can do comedy in New York, I'm staying put.
Yeah. So you got big plans coming up, or you have any dates, anything?
Dude, that's what's I've been busy the past month since Texas reopened, and now I've got nothing.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to do. Maybe I should go somewhere.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think right now because how coronavirus, you know, hit and everything like that, it's like giving me too. Like when people are asking, well, what do you got next? I'm like, well, I don't have nothing right now. And then like tomorrow, someone hits you up.
Right. You never know how it happens.
Yeah, because everything's just reopening.
Yep.
That's kind of crazy, dude. Can you imagine getting out of prison, out of lockup? The whole world's on lockdown.
Yeah, what is that about? I was thinking that too. When you got out, I was like,
dude, it's like the world is. I mean, I used it for my advantage. I'm not gonna lie. I took advantage of everyone else slowing down and me working harder. But it was a little scary.
Yeah, man, that's
because I'm just
wild.
like, this is real, you know. And then all the riots and stuff, and I'm just like, God damn it, man.
Yeah, welcome back, dude.
Oh yeah, it's great.
Welcome back to free life. So that's what we've been doing.
Yeah,
with our freedoms.
Yeah, but now I'm glad we can actually go to a restaurant now.
Oh yeah,
do some comedy. And the whole time for 2 years, I'm like, man, when I get out, first day, I'm hitting the mic. I don't care. I'm gonna find somewhere. I'm gonna do some time. I get out for like 3 weeks, 4 weeks, nothing. You know. And I'm just like, oh god. I mean, I did some of those Zoom things or whatever, but and those are nice. You know, those are really nice to do because of the situation we were at. You know.
Yeah.
And I think you know what? I think it forced comedians to be more creative on how to get the comedy out. Right. Like for instance, like Gretchen's show. Gretchen's show is really good. You know, we were both on it the same night.
Yes.
And everyone did well. Everyone did well, and it made me feel good because I was just like, okay, I got it out. You know, and I think with comedy, we always have it inside, and we got to find a place to get it out.
Yeah, definitely, man. And it was like a different like form of it.
Yeah.
Comedy that I had never really done before because it was on that live stream like that. So it was like a new muscle, which was kind of neat to kind of like figure out and discover for the first time. You know, like, oh man, what is this? What's this skill set? You know, this is kind of interesting. You know, it was fun.
You know, just that alone, man, it gives me a lot of hope for comedy, because no matter what happens, we find a way to get it out.
Yeah, dude.
You know,
absolutely.
So, I mean, the world. I mean, it is ending, right? It feels like it.
Hey, I'm gonna go down laughing, bro.
Hell yeah.
Chugging a beer, laughing, and then I'll throw my mug at somebody.
That's funny, man.
Yeah, but I don't know. I've been loving it, honestly. I mean, being back home in Texas has been great. So, like, just the fact that quarantine happened, and I was able to come down here, enjoy a spring in Texas with my family, get some home cooking, get to be around everybody, beautiful weather.
Yeah.
And kind of get out of the city while everything was shut down, and then get to be here while things reopen. First place to reopen kind of in the country was in Texas.
Yeah.
You know, it's been fantastic. For me personally, this has been like a great kind of reset, recharge before I eventually head back to New York. You know, honestly, I consider it honestly like a real blessing. Just being here, seeing friends, seeing family. It's been awesome for me personally. Yeah. And not to mention like just fucking like unemployment, not working, getting checks. I'm like, this has been rad as fuck.
I have no comment. It's been good.
Right? They just want to give me $1,200. I was like, all right, I ain't gonna fight you for it. You know?
Yeah. Oh man, hey, I just want to say, Jamie, it's been a blessing working with you, man, and growing with you this past month and a half that we've been out on the stages again, and I look forward for our relationship to keep on building and growing and doing more shows, man. And I really appreciate you for coming down to the show, my number one show, my first show.
Bro,
You know?
numero uno.
Numero uno.
No, man, the feeling's mutual, brother. I think we're going to continue to do big things, man. I'm glad you're out. And let's just fucking keep grinding, baby.
Already. All right. This is the show right here. This is George Red Speaks with Jamie Gravy. The first episode. And, stay tuned. Come back next Monday because it's going to be live. I'm going to have someone else here. We're going to have a good friend of ours named JD Poe. He's another stand-up comedian. We're going to jump on and analyze comedy with him and get his perspective. And I look forward to being here next week. And I'm out.